in a cave filled with fucking random machine parts and built himself a fucking flying suit.
All right, this is your forecast. We're back after a brief hiatus. We'd like to apologize to our...
I'm not apologizing.
Well, I'm apologizing on behalf of all of us.
We don't need to.
Our 4 subscribers.
I think we're 3 of them.
No, I think
like,
Brookman...
No, I mean like us 3 are 3 of them already.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Well, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
So there's
I
know that Brookman's one of them.
Hey, shout out to you. Hopefully you still listen.
Oh yeah,
there's
both my accounts.
There's some random person. But
so random.
We have lives, so we had some stuff going on.
Yeah, it happens.
It's not like really much was going on.
It's not like we have jobs
fantasy-wise.
Until we come back.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden...
Well, yeah.
We go 3 weeks pretty hardcore with it, super consistent. We take 2 weeks off, and crap hits the fan.
Training camp. This is the worst time of the year for me. We always get... It's nothing but bad news. It's either injuries or hype. So it's like... I'm thinking back to San Francisco 3 years ago. Trey Lance. He was the best thing since... According to the beat writers in San Francisco, anyway. And now he's the 3rd string quarterback. So what about Jalen Reagor in 2000 whatever? He was lighting it up in camp, and now he's traded to whomever. It's irritating, right?
Yeah, it's tough. You have to know what to filter in and what to filter out. And like you said, I think the hype pieces are really what you just need to filter out the most, because everybody has an agenda. And helping your fantasy team is not their agenda. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I think for the most part, you just got to stick to your guns. You gotta believe in what you know, and you gotta hope that you can see the talent on the teams and who's gonna get the volume, who's gonna be the star players and whatnot.
I really like what Nathan was saying off air there about if somebody gets some hype from the reporters or the coaches, you immediately put them on the trade block, because most of the time it's just a bunch of nonsense. Every once in a while you get something concrete, for example, like Jonathan Taylor with all this nonsense. What is he not showing up? His back hurts. Honestly, I don't really know. I'm going to hand it over to Nathan. He's in the know with this stuff. He's been keeping up. See if he can shed some light on everything here.
Yeah, so I mean, I try to keep up. And it is tough because, especially with this Jonathan Taylor situation, there's something new and ridiculous coming out every day. So, it starts out with he might not show up to camp, and, he might be looking for some more money, and Irsay and his agent get into it on Twitter, and they clearly don't like each other, and now Irsay's threatening to put him on the NFI list and hold his money from him, and it's a really bad situation all around. And it's... If anything, I think it just really shows where the running back market is and the direction it's heading to an even worse state going forward. Because it's not just Jonathan Taylor that's had really bad things happen to him at the running back position in fantasy football this offseason.
I mean, are we getting to the point where it's like, oh, running back turned 25, you better start selling him before the wheels fall off?
Dude, if we could figure out these calculations on when you need to sell and whatnot, then we would be like gurus. But
I know.
This stuff is so hard to predict, and who's going to be getting it. Like, this is not even his contract year, is it?
No, he has
it's
2 years left.
You don't know, like, how do you go into looking at these guys, ETN, like Taylor, like even Barkley? Like, you don't know where these are really good players, and you can't tell. It's super hard to tell where, like, what do you even do with them?
I mean, honestly, I would say right now, at least regarding Taylor, is now would be a good time to buy, because he's still got the talent.
He's not going to not play in the next couple of years. So
I agree. I think it is tough, but if you can buy, you should. But I think the problem is, I don't know about you guys, but if I have Jonathan Taylor anywhere, I'm not selling him for pennies right now.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, that's a good
So you have to find the right guy.
There might be,
like, maybe you have a Colts fan who's like, I hate Jonathan Taylor. He's evil. He's screwing over my favorite team. And And you might not even be able to get him for a discount. Like, it might be you get the privilege of buying one of the top 3 running backs in Dynasty at full cost. That's just kind of what it is. But
that's the way, like, a lot of times you see on the buy low, sell high. It's always situations like that. But you never actually factor in the fact that, well, nobody's actually selling low on this guy right now.
Exactly. That's the tough part. You have to make a compelling and convincing offer for the player still. So you just got to find the right owners.
Basically, maybe what has happened is where before Taylor was untouchable, now you might actually be able to get him.
Right.
That might be what has changed.
Yep. I don't know about you guys, but there's players who have given me headaches over time where I don't really care what the value is. I just don't want to look at them on my screen anymore when I open up that league.
You got any names?
Well, Michael Thomas probably comes off the top of my head for me.
There was one in particular.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a pretty big one. Those 2 guys have really been the bane of my existence the last 3 or 4 years. But I'm going down with my ship, I guess, because nobody else wants to take them.
You can't even drop them at this point.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. I can't drop them because everybody's going to pick them up.
Yeah,
they're going to be added immediately.
I'm not picking up Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not touching him at all.
I think he gets picked up, man.
Well,
I would definitely pick him up.
Yeah, any running back that plays for the Chiefs is valuable right now. They just are because whoever it is scores fantasy points. It's just your guess is as good as anybody's.
Okay, who's going to score? Okay, let's say Jonathan Taylor, whatever. This drama amounts to something. Who's scoring fantasy points for the Colts though? Like somebody just mentioned Zach Moss broke his arm.
Yeah, he broke his arm today. I think the timetable was 6 to 8 weeks, so he's definitely missing regular season action, which leaves, I believe, Evan Hull, the 5th round rookie from this current draft, and Deion Jackson, the very uninspiring plotter from last year. Who
still some guys who haven't been picked up yet though.
Yeah, exactly. Kareem Hunt is on the radar, I'm sure. Dalvin Cook, Zeke, Fournette. Yeah. And it seems like Irsay's the kind of guy to do it to spite Jonathan Taylor.
Absolutely.
Like, if Jonathan Taylor's like, you need me, you don't know how bad you need me, and he says, dude, I'll go sign Dalvin Cook right now. And I got the same thing.
Yeah. Basically, if Jacob was a GM.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Petty owner.
I will be the villain in that movie.
Somebody has to be,
Well, I mean, it ends up working for these guys. I hate it so much, and it's like I want these guys to get paid. I think Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, these guys should get paid in long-term deals. But at the same time, teams aren't winning with them. Yeah. Teams are winning with and getting Super Bowls without them.
Yeah.
So, though I do think, like, let's say the 49ers make the Super Bowl, have a decent quarterback or whatever, and the things that happened last year didn't happen, then people are going to look at that differently because they got CMC. CMC is a difference maker for that offense. So
for sure.
Hopefully maybe that happens in the future to where it makes teams be like, okay, maybe we should get some good running backs. But
yeah, I agree with everything you were saying there. I think everybody probably saw the list a couple of weeks ago when like Eckler and Saquon and Jacobs like had that big meeting on Zoom with all the running backs. And it was like the list of the last 25 Super Bowl winners or whatever, and their starting running back. Yeah. And it was like, I forgot these guys existed. Mm-hmm. It wasn't studs. And I think a lot of that goes into the quarterback play and just how important quarterbacks are, because you see like it's Mahomes and Brady and Aaron Rodgers and all these legitimate Hall of Fame first ballot guys winning Super Bowls over and over again. So it doesn't really matter who the running back is. But I agree. I do think these top tier guys deserve to get paid. I think something that really put it in perspective was in the middle of all this, Cole Kmet, the tight end on the Bears, just got a 4-year, $50 million contract. And I said, you're telling me he's 4 times the player Saquon Barkley is? He's 4 times more important to that team than Saquon Barkley is.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, different teams, different cap space, different situation. But I mean, that's just the going rate for an okay to decent tight end like Cole Kmet. That's the going rate for him.
I don't think you can convince me that Saquon Barkley is worth less than Cole Kmet.
No, I think if you talk to Ryan Poles, the Bears GM right now, and offered to trade them 1 for 1, he'd probably do that. Like, he'd probably say, okay, I'll just take the year of Saquon and whatever. I'll draft that tight end anywhere in the draft next year. Anywhere.
Right.
I'm trying to think of an example, and I might not be able to, but it's almost like everybody is starting to see the light with the running backs, and everybody's just taking it too far.
Yeah.
Where like I'm trying to think of an example in fantasy where like everybody says this guy's a sell, this guy's a sell. Okay, James Robinson was an example. Now that didn't end up working out,
Right.
But everybody said he was a sell. And they kept saying sell, and he ended up being worth like a late first.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying that he's a sell, but at some point he becomes a buy.
Right. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
A similar situation would be Damian Pierce this year. Was almost
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Where he came in as a rookie, super undervalued, crushes, and everyone says, "Oh, well, he was drafted really late, so get rid of him." And it lowered him so much to the point where it's just like, you might as well be giving up a second-round pick to get him. I mean, at least take your chance. What else are you hoping for in the second round?
Yeah, I guess that's what I would say with running backs is like, dude, like paying somebody like Saquon $11 million, like that's just, to me, that's a no-brainer. That's
easy.
the smart money.
Yeah.
Somebody should be doing that. Like that's a smart move to do that.
Yeah.
But maybe someone like Joe Mixon, paying him $15 million, maybe that's not so smart.
Right.
Yeah.
Have to be a truly elite difference maker, not those higher tier.
And that's where everybody gets into the regression stuff with running backs. It's like, oh well, if they're 27, you might as well count them out. But like Christian McCaffrey, what is he, 28?
Well, yeah, look at all the top running backs in the league right now. They're all 28, 29. Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones. These are guys who have been putting up top 10 seasons for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
And they haven't fallen off yet.
AP did it until like he was 30. Like that was like that generational talent guy. But Saquon is a guy like that too.
I agree. And I think the smart move is historically to sell these guys at that 26, 27. Like when they're looking for their second contract, you need to be looking to get out of them.
Yeah.
Are we looking at this though? Are we looking at this historically where you got guys like Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith who were making, like Barry Sanders when he signed his contract when he was 29, he was making as much as Brett Favre was.
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's a different league. That's not even the same sport.
Yeah,
really,
so I guess what I'm saying is like, are we comparing apples to oranges now? Because nobody's even, these guys are making backup quarterback money right now at $11 million. Like,
Yeah.
So
something said like the average running back gets paid less than the average kicker or something like that.
Yeah, I believe it is the lowest. It's definitely the lowest paid skill position. I think it's the lowest paid overall position besides for inside linebacker and special teams. Every other position on average makes more than them.
Yeah.
Especially the top tier guys. I mean, you're not seeing even $50 million contracts handed out to running backs. And if you have a good outside linebacker, I mean, they're going to make $150 million for the next 5 years.
I think all of America just needs to band together and just do not let your kids play running back.
Yeah,
and
no reason.
Whenever they get into
my kids playing
sports,
baseball.
Yeah. Well,
baseball.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Our kids should be playing soccer. That's where the money is.
Listen,
let's be for real.
Baseball, I wouldn't doubt soccer. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt. I don't know
on a
soccer,
personal note,
I think soccer.
My kid is not going to get good enough genetics to go anywhere with soccer. Okay, I'm a big guy. I don't run real fast.
You can play.
I'm a lot better with my hands than my feet. Yeah, goalie. He can play goalie.
Goalkeeper, yeah. This is kind of on the same subject as like one thing I never understood about Le'Veon Bell is why didn't he learn how to play receiver? He was awesome at playing receiver.
You know, he came out with a little video or TikTok or something saying he regrets not signing with the Steelers.
Yeah, he regrets sitting out that year, which is, I mean, hindsight.
Yeah, of course.
And I totally respect him for the decision he made. I really do.
And I bet you that's why Saquon signed the deal that he got with Giants. It's like he doesn't want to make that same mistake.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think a lot of it was because it was the day after they had that big Zoom meeting with all the running backs. Mm-hmm. I think they realized just how truly screwed they are.
Yeah.
They can't do anything about it.
Let's just be real, though. They're not really any more screwed than you and me.
They're in a much better position than us, yes.
Like, they're not really screwed.
But I totally get the know your worth and get it while you can mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Nick Chubb was the one who said it, where he said running back is the only position in the NFL where you can go out and be the best in the world at what you do, and your value to the NFL owners goes down because you just had 400 touches.
Yeah.
And they say, I don't care if you had 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. You had 400 touches, including the playoffs. I mean, I can't.
That's a fallacy in itself, but we don't have to get into that right now. But since we were talking about Le'Veon Bell, I want to close with this. The best gift that I ever got from my wife was a Le'Veon Bell jersey.
Wow.
I was so excited.
Best gift,
he was my favorite player. I don't
He's a
know
stud.
why.
Absolute stud.
I love the way he played football
Yep.
and he was chill.
Yep.
And
He was an awesome player to watch, even for whatever team you like. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
to
I mean,
watch
it was-
him run over
he
somebody.
was
and
very,
then
very
spin.
different than
Yeah.
anybody else.
absolutely. He's kind of like a little bit like Muhammad Ali, where like
Okay.
you would never not that he was as good as Muhammad Ali. More like nobody would teach.
He liked to fight people?
No.
Oh.
Nobody would teach how to box like Muhammad Ali. They would never say if you were teaching somebody how to box, you would never show them a video of Muhammad Ali and say, "Look, this is what you should do." Only Muhammad Ali could do that, and that's
Just
how
intangibles, yeah.
that's how Le'Veon Bell was. Like, he's just gonna wait. Of course, he
Yeah.
had a great offensive line that could hold the blocks long enough.
Right.
But
I mean, all the stars in
Part
life,
of
let's
it.
be honest. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
perfect system,
Mm.
perfect player.
Yeah.
Everything worked out well. But, yeah, I'll say, at least for me personally, I think the big takeaway from the running back market from a dynasty perspective is if games aren't being played, I do not want any of these guys on my roster.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
through
call-
3 months
just-
of the offseason, I'm not going to hold on to Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones
will,
because
but-
if they... Well, I'll buy him in August. Like, I'll overpay in the middle of August before the season starts for a healthy starting running back rather than buy them in May and I'm holding them for 3 months where they can go tear their ACL. And if somebody that's 28 does it, they're over.
I said it earlier, man. I'm sticking to my guns.
Yeah.
I think if you know ball and you think you got it, like buy that guy, buy him, and see how it works out. I think that's how you win ultimately, is if you know more. But like, I mean, you're not really gonna know. It's
Right.
kind of just it
Yeah,
does feel really good if you do it. So.
Oh, yeah, it does feel great. I'll just say my play style is I'm risk adverse, especially in the offseason. There's no reason for me to take on any kind of volatile asset. If I can trade Aaron Jones for like an early second or a late first at the end of the season because somebody's like, oh, I can add a top 20 running back at worst to my roster right now, I'm okay with you getting that player from me. And if everything pans out, fine, I got fair value.
Well, you weren't.
But if everything doesn't pan out, then okay, I got that pick and you have the decreasing value asset now.
You are in the perfect league for that because everybody's willing to give you their first.
Yes. Trust me, I've noticed.
I think we're pretty much done, right? I think
I think that
we
covers
got
most
about
of the
like
running
15
back
minutes. But I wanted to say something about. It's interesting that you mentioned that because I got a bunch of shit on Reddit about this. Where, let's say it was Justin Jefferson. I was comparing Justin Jefferson with, let's say, Amon-Ra, right?
Yeah.
And the expected value from the trade calculator went down every single year, and everybody was like, "What? That doesn't make any sense. Why are these guys Why would you expect less from them? They should be getting better." And I'm like, it's kind of like what you were saying,
Yeah,
like,
now that, I was just saying that's a fallacy. That's
yeah,
thinking
like,
that everybody's gonna just get better. And
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been playing Dynasty more than 5 or 6 years, so I don't know. But at least for me, have we ever seen an asset like Justin Jefferson where people are willing to throw their entire team to get this guy? I mean, they're giving up 3 first-round
it
picks
happens
and
every
I mean, we had this conversation.
I think it happens every year, but
I
It's
don't
just
think it
crazy
happens
how
every
highly
year.
valued
I think
it is.
I think it happens like maybe every 5 years or so, dude. Because like I wouldn't doubt like Randy Moss was that guy whenever the second year on the Patriots, or like Calvin Johnson maybe.
Yeah, I'm
the
sure
year
like in
that
his
he hit
prime,
two-
Calvin and
Right.
Julio was definitely
Julio,
like that.
Antonio
Oh,
Brown
I
were
doubt
probably
it,
all
yeah.
like that.
no, I don't think Antonio Brown was ever like that because
I don't know.
For
Man.
some
Antonio
reason, I
Brown was
feel
the
like-
number 1 receiver in fantasy for like 4 years
Yeah,
in a
I
row.
know,
It's
but like
nuts.
he didn't come into his prime. First of all,
I guess he was a little older.
dude,
when
like
he-
nobody that's ever like a 6th-round pick is ever.
Yeah, it's the Amon-Ra
very
situation.
hard to get into that category for somebody like that.
right.
Mm.
But yeah, I think
AJ Brown, Julio Jones, Saquon,
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott. These guys were all up there on that in that same conversation.
yeah.
People were throwing 4 or 5 firsts at these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, but now you look at it, and it's, I mean, maybe 10% of the time that's ever going to pay off. You better win the league twice in the next
Yeah.
5 years if you're going to give up 4 or 5 first-round picks for a single player, because it's like you're saying,
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, I mean, he's obviously like the highest valued non-quarterback in like Superflex leagues, or even if we talk about, I mean, it'd be tough to do with Pat Mahomes, but specifically like a skill position player. Why wouldn't you trade him away? Because like you're saying, he might put up the same exact stats, but his perceived value is going to go down.
Oh, yeah.
He's another year older. Now we don't know the quarterback situation. Things are always changing in the NFL. He could have a nagging injury.
I don't know though, because like I feel like it went up this year. I think I see hype videos on him.
Right.
So potential. I mean, unless you're saying like his potential value is high right now, but like after the season, he should have just a mediocre season or average season for him, right?
Yeah, well, an average Justin Jefferson season
let's
is
say
a
he
top
does-
3 finish.
Still,
Even
His
if he does
actual stats aren't going to get worse for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the
They
problem
could.
is every year people fall in love with the new hotness. And, this time next year we could be saying, well, do we want Garrett Wilson or do we
Yeah.
want Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase?
Yeah.
And there's always going to be something. Like,
Mhm.
it's just kind of how it is. I'm willing to bet Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be like wide receiver 5 on keep trade cut this time
Yeah.
next year going into the season.
Oh,
It's going to be
absolutely.
like, dude, he hasn't played a snap, and you're
Yeah.
taking him over all of these studs.
That's the same thing as like Jordan Addison. I wouldn't doubt he goes really high.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other guys. Like, well, I don't know, because Justin Jefferson, even in our initial draft, he was a rookie.
Yeah.
He was still round
Dude,
7.
Jordan Addison has a Juju Smith-Schuster season.
Like,
tough.
that's what you think?
Oh, it
Or-
could happen.
I mean,
Like young Juju with AB on the other
Juju-
side.
Guess
He
where
could.
Juju Smith-Schuster went to college? USC.
Yeah.
So
did he get the Blitnikoff award?
he didn't even get the Blitnikoff. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, but did Juju ever get pulled over?
Yeah.